Guys, oh my god, I got dragged so bad last week for thinking that that was the last episode. Listen, girl, it was just giving last episode to me, okay? Anyway, let's get into episode 8 of Grotesquerie. We start out watching Merritt in action at work, putting her 2 doctorate degrees to use teaching a seminar. She meets with the doctor afterwards, who tells her that Lois was in a dream state and that she was very aware of her dreams. This doctor wants to find ways to communicate with people who are in comas. He tells Merritt about who she was in Lois's dream, which we all know was an aspiring contestant on Half-Ton Drama. Lord. So glad that wasn't her reality. I really wanted more from Merritt, and I'm glad that we got it. We then see Lois in recovery mode, learning to walk again as now Dr. Charles fine ass comes to check on her. Lois tells him to fuck off for trying to kill her while in a coma. She wants to go home. Next we see Marshall at home as nurse, she's no longer a nurse, so I'll just call her Sexy Red, enters. He plans to divorce Lois now that she's awake. Sexy Red tells him he doesn't have to if he doesn't want to. Marshall says his lawyer is drawing up the paperwork for the divorce. He knows that Lois heard him saying he wants her to die while in her coma. He seems to be in love with Sexy Red. We then see the doctor who spoke with Merritt now interviewing Detective Megan the Stallion. She says that Lois was happy for her when she became the chief. He then asks her about Andrea's case, whom we learn is dead. Megan thinks that Lois should have helped Andrea earlier on. As Lois was retiring, Megan assured her that she needed to retire. At Lois's retirement gathering, they got into an argument. Everyone had been drinking this purple punch, which of course reminds me of the purple pool in episode 4. The doctor compared the purple punch to the purple bruises found on Andrea's dead body, so we know that Andrea had been abused, much like in Lois's coma. Megan arrives home to whom seems to be her loser-ass boyfriend, Justin. He's drunk and complaining about being hungry? After you've been sitting on your ass all day and your girl just comes home from work, you're talking about you're hungry? Girl, fix your own damn food. Megan reluctantly heats up some food for him and he comes into the kitchen and starts hitting her. She draws her gun as she should, bitch. He tells her she doesn't have the balls to shoot him, but baby, Detective Megan the Stallion will shoot your ass. She tells him to leave, but it's his house, so she throws the food on him and she leaves instead. Detective Megan drives to the same motel from episode 4. The pool is still purple. The front desk attendant offers her ice for her face, but she just wants to go to her room. Next, we see Lois meeting with the doctor who helped her from her coma. She says her coma felt like a 6-week nightmare. She's not even sure if she's awake now. He wants to help her piece together her dreams by recollecting them. She expresses her hatred for Merritt in her dreams. The doctor feels that she felt a lack of control in her marriage, which is why she put Marshall in a coma. He says that she was intimidated by Megan's holier-than-thou persona at work, so she made Megan a nun, and that Grotesquerie represents a totem. He feels that Lois was fighting an evil spirit. Lois admits to mishandling Andrea's case. She feels guilty about it. They then talk about Ed in her dream and how Lois made him the caretaker. They mention the affair between her and Ed. Lois says the only person who cared about her in her dream was Nurse Sexy Red. She says that Nurse Red was a saint to deal with Marshall for so many years. We then learn that Maisie from her dream is her real-life housekeeper. She met Maisie in real life at an abortion clinic where Maisie had chained herself. She was advocating for pro-life. Lois saw herself in Maisie in the sense of grandstanding and feeling hope. We see Lois being discharged from the hospital with the same get-well balloon that we saw in her dream at her congratulations party. Detective Megan is waiting for her to take her home. Lois is relieved to see her. Megan says she idolized Lois. She thinks Lois resents her for taking her position. Lois says that it was her subconscious and not actually her. Megan then accuses Lois's generation of lacking accountability, which is straight facts. We know that generation, girl. They can't spell accountability, you hear me? Lois then calls millennials professional victims, which, bitch, you are a lie. These are lies you tell. And maybe when her generation learned the concept of accountability, they'll realize that we've only ever been victim to their bullshit. Oh my god, that was my little side tangent. Megan says that Lois left her to clean up the Andrea case, which she's now being sued for. Lois tells her to grow the fuck up. Lois clocks her ass and tells her that in her coma, Megan had bruises much like she does now in real life, and that Megan was possessed. She tells her that she needs to break free, as in leave her deadbeat ass boyfriend Justin. Lois goes home where Maisie awaits her. Maisie wonders why no one was there waiting for her. Lois is just thankful that Maisie was there waiting for her. They go to physical therapy for Lois's recovery. Dr. Charles is fine ass. I'm sorry y'all, but that is a fine ass man, Savannah. He comes in. Lois tells him that one day, much like her suspects, he'll confess to her and references her coma. Lois and Maisie then goes to Merritt's place, who is not happy with Lois after sleeping with her husband Eddie, of course. She's also not happy with how she was portrayed in Lois's coma. She says that Lois reduced her to that because of her own insecurities. Lois says she slept with Eddie based on self-pity. She was abandoned by Marshall also, which also contributed to the affair. Merritt slaps the shit out of Lois. Oh my god, it's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. Merritt says that Lois's job has affected her state of mind. She says she remembers when Lois was at one point a good mother and that she broke her heart. She then tells Lois to get the fuck out of her house. Lois leaves and she and Maisie drive off to get vanilla milkshakes. Guys, what an episode. It's so interesting seeing everyone in their original roles, if you will, aside from Lois's coma. So it's kind of like rediscovering a new story and rediscovering new characters, which I really like. I kind of like it. I just wonder where it's gonna go from here. I wonder, what happens with Grotesquerie, if any of those murders actually took place, or if in fact it all just represented Lois just fighting some evil spirit in her coma. I guess we shall see in the next 2 episodes.